Welcome to GMV Videos. I'm Shawn Ray, your host for the 2002 Mr. Olympia here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm backstage at the pump-up area where you're going to meet the biggest and the best bodybuilders on the planet Earth. This year, you're not going to see this from me. A little small, but you're going to get a lot of this. I'm going to be reporting backstage here as we got the return of Flex Wheeler coming off a 2-year hiatus in the Mr. Olympia contest. We've got Ronnie Coleman going for his 5th consecutive win here at the Mandalay Bay, trying to become the 5-time champion of the Mr. Olympia. We've also got some other interesting stories. Marcus Rule, we're going to find out what he did since the Night of Champion victory to get here to this contest. And we also have another story. George Farah, who was shot 3 times, qualified for the Mr. Olympia, and he's here making his pro debut. We also have Bob Ciccarillo, 37 years old, 15-year amateur bodybuilder, finally made it here to the big show and going to be going up against his arch rival, King Kamali. The only other guy.
Don't forget me, Shawn. Don't forget me.
There he is.
This is my biggest critic here.
The beast from the East, Nasser El Sambadi.
But I accept him to a certain degree because he's one of the best, and he should have won also the title a couple of times.
Nasser El Sambadi in his 10th Mr. Olympia, trying to make a comeback from last year's disappointment. Came in a little bit heavier, a little bit harder. We're going to find out what he does here today. We also have Kevin Levrone. Kevin Levrone slipped a few places last year and also had a very hard time in the offseason, had a hernia operation. He's taken full ownership of his gym. He's gone through some personal problems, but he says he's ready to make the comeback here tonight. We also have Craig Titus coming back for his 2nd Mr. Olympia contest, who's one of the only pro bodybuilders that's also married to another fitness professional, Kelly Ryan, who got 2nd place last night. And speaking of marital bodybuilders, we also have Superman, Lee Priest, making his comeback here to the Mr. Olympia. A year ago, he was out of the competition because he had a heart ailment. Came back and won the San Francisco Pro, and he's here tonight to find out whether or not he can crack that top 6. As well, we have Dennis James, all the way from Thailand. Always good, but never good enough when it comes to the Mr. Olympia contest. This year, he says he's nailed it with the help of Milo Sarchev. So we're going to find out whether or not Dennis James, coming in at a little bit lighter body weight, has tailored his waist and improved his weaknesses to crack the top 6. As well, we've got Dexter Jackson, 220 pounds, the Blade. He's always known for being sharp, but he competes too often and can't make the improvements necessary to compete at this contest. But he took a year off, and he's coming back to try to muscle in the top 5. I think he can do it. We'll find out later on. As these guys come back from the warm-up area, they're backstage right now. We've got about 15 minutes before they're all back here. I'll try to get some up-close interviews with these guys just before they hit the professional stage up here at the Mandalay Bay at the Mr. Olympia 2002.